Hi guys. So the Westland project is finally over. And what we can see is that yes, it worked. The $200 billion project worked. And right now we have a really big urban area with skyscrapers, a financial center, and then yes, also apartment buildings and I think parks and really beautiful places such as uh, what we're seeing right here, which is called the Westland Arc. I think it's not an arc, but it's an arc since you pass through it with your car and stuff. So it's really beautiful. And then there's this new part, this from park right here. So yes, the Westland project was a really huge project. It's worked actually. The streets are big. The houses are modern and yes, it's a really beautiful place. But we have to remember why the Westland project is so controversial and why people actually don't like these projects, actually people from the city. But from the outside, from the international view, the plan worked and it's a huge success. So we're gonna talk about it. So we have first to remember how was Westland before it became this urban area, this big zone right here. So it was a an industrial center, a really dirty place with yes, pollution and stuff. And it's still, since the Westland South industrial center is still actually in an industrial zone, even though it has less industries and they're actually not polluting. This was actually the law that they put to actually keep those industries there. But it was an industrial zone, so it was also a poor zone. Also, like people from poor background actually lived there back in the 1930s. But in 1950s, a project came named the Project Artisan, which actually built these suburbia such as Stanleywood, Roberts Fan, and Burtonboro, just near the industrial center. So that was to bring rich, not rich people, but middle class people into the neighborhood, and so the neighborhood became really good. And then they divided also the industrial center to the neighborhood with a railway line and two roads. The road wasn't connected to the suburbia to actually avoid traffic. So yes, that's worked for decades and decades. But then this Westland project was brought to the table back in the 1990s, but then was cancelled due to the cost and also to protests against the project. But the project actually took in 2005, and right now we are seeing the results. The project is really big, is really good, and people are coming from all over the world to live in this really beautiful suburbia. But we have to consider one thing: this suburbia was built for all classes. That's what they said. But right now, what we're seeing is that many people from the second class are actually living in the city, and for the third class, but not the poor people. So what we can see just right behind this really rich neighborhood, just to cross the railway line, you can see right here there's a really poor neighborhood which is called the Artisan, since it was built by the Artisan project back in the 1950s and the 1970s. So this suburbia actually refused to be demolished, since this new park that was built during the Westland project wanted actually to destroy even the small neighborhood. So they refused, and they kept their neighborhood to just show how the disparity in both like the Westland districts and because the Artisan neighborhood is actually found in the Roberts Fan, sorry, in the Roberts Fan borough. So what we can see that yes, they refused, but then the Roberts Fan borough was a second class, was a middle class borough. So that means that yes, disparity since still a thing, but not since the artisan uh, neighborhood is really small. But what we're seeing, that's what brought more fueled more actually the controversy. What we can see here is that they built a recycle center just right near the artisan neighborhood. So that shows how they are actually not respected in the area. And they actually demolished the recycle center that was found where the park is right now. So they demolished a a recycle center that was already near it to place it just right behind it to actually uh, put it a little bit far from the new Westland district. So that was actually one of the many controversy that was brought to the table. And when also they relocate the industrial group of